Woohoo! Boy, have I got some good news for you today. How's it going? It's Rob and welcome to Leave Curious. Welcome to my office. Why are we in my office, you say? Why aren't we off out in the countryside, Rob, crawling through some bushes? And that's because I just couldn't wait to tell you the good news that beavers have now been designated a native species once again here in England. What does this mean? Why is this good? Well, fundamentally, it means that they have full legal protection. You can't kill them, you can't hurt them, you can't disrupt them. It means that they can go off and they can repopulate and they can just go off and do their thing across the countryside without facing any kind of restriction. It's awesome, and you know what? It almost didn't happen for the beavers again. Hundreds of years ago they were eradicated, they were hunted for their pelts and for their scent glands, but of unknown origins they came back to the UK. They were found on a river in Devon, and maybe 6 or 7 years ago they gave birth to some kits. And people's initial reaction was, well, not everyone's initial reaction, but some initial reaction was that they need to be killed, they need to be eradicated. Because they were a non-native invasive species. But thankfully the Devon Wildlife Trust and other organisations said, you know what, let's not do that, let's maybe just not do that right now, let's just study them, let's just see what happens, because they knew all of the good that would come from the beavers. And jump forward to where we are now, yeah, we've been able to document that, and there's been loads of other projects going on as well, and it's all helped in getting the beaver back to being a native species here in England. So, what are some of the good things that beavers do? Well, fundamentally, beavers build dams. They are like the very definition of an ecosystem engineer. It's so awesome, like seeing how fast and how dramatically they can change an area. They fell trees, they gather sticks, and they build these dams. They usually build like a much bigger dam, then they build a series of smaller dams. But what the dams do is they slow the flow of water, and this creates much wider areas, much deeper areas, and it helps create places like wet woodland that just are so beneficial to so many different species. And aside from all the environmental and ecological benefits, it also helps benefit people. You know, they help prevent flash flooding when we have days of heavy rainfall. The dams actually slow down that flow. It also helps purify water as well, because again, it slows the flow, it helps catch sediment and pollutants, and the water that comes out the other side is much clearer and much purer. It also helps benefit rural areas. You know, beavers at the minute are a novelty, and you know, people want to go and see them. They're an attraction. You know, I'm planning on going to Devon very soon to go and just film them and just see them and just see what they're doing. Hopefully I won't have to travel that far soon. Hopefully I'll be able to see them in Essex where I live. It's just such good news, and it makes me think about the upcoming projects of the bison in this country, in Kent next year, and hopefully the lynx in Scotland. You know, specifically it makes me think about what it takes to get a species back in this country. It takes a bit of resilience from people to say, you know what, this is what we're doing, this is how we're doing it. It takes understanding to say, okay, you guys are going to be living with these animals, how can we make sure that there is coexistence? And that gives me such hope. I'm just particularly excited about the beaver because they are such pivotal creatures in the ecosystem. I'm just really excited. I wanted to tell you this today. I'm working on a good video for you, which should be out this week as well. If you're interested in learning more about the beavers, I have made a longer video on them, which you can click on the screen now. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Leave Curious. This is the back and this is the front. Cool, right?